Hi guys, welcome back to English with Max. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 very common English idioms. If someone asked me what my favorite idiom was, I wouldn't be able to answer because I like quite a lot of them. So for this video, I've chosen 5 that I like a lot and that are also very common. Native speakers use these a lot. They are also very current. I don't want to teach you old-fashioned ones that only our grandparents might use. Maybe I'll do that in another video. Okay, let's get started. The first one is, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Literally, this might not make sense to some people because some people think, well, if you are having your cake, you are eating it as well. It's the same thing. But the idea behind this idiom is that you cannot eat your cake and still have it in front of you. The figurative meaning is that you cannot have two things that are incompatible. Another way to express this is you can't have it both ways. Here is an example. Frank wants to go play with George, but Frank has an exam tomorrow and needs to study, otherwise he will fail. So I could say to Frank, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Another example is someone saying, I want to go to Paris when it's hot, but I don't want to go when there are lots of tourists. Well, when it's hot, there are lots of tourists. So yeah, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. Many languages have an equivalent for this expression. I'm going to give you some examples, and I will put the literal translations of these in the subtitles. In French, the expression is on ne peut pas avoir le beurre et l'argent du beurre. In German, the close equivalent is man kann nicht auf 2 Hochzeiten tanzen. And in Spanish, you can say no se puede estar en misa y replicando. The R is really hard for me in Spanish. For the other idioms in this video, I'm not going to give you any translations or equivalents because what I would like you to do is try to think of idioms in your own language which express the same ideas. Sometimes there isn't an equivalent in another language, but often there is. Please write it in the comments below if you can think of it, and it would also be great if you could put the literal English translation. The second one is also related to cake, and it is, it's a piece of cake. Of course, native speakers often say, it's a piece of cake. This simply means that something is very easy to do. For example, cooking pasta is a piece of cake. For most people, anyway, I hope. Or watching reality TV is a piece of cake. Learning a language is not. You should also be aware that in the UK and Australia, we have a more vulgar form of this expression, and that is, it's a piece of piss. I'm not suggesting that you use this expression because you could very easily offend people, but it is good if you understand it. On a side note, I know that the word piece in Spanish is something that you often use with children, but that is not the case with piss in English. Piss is quite vulgar, and it's definitely not a word that you use with children. Number 3, nothing to write home about. This means mediocre. Nothing spectacular, nothing special. The idea behind this is that you would not sit down and write a letter to your family about something. It can apply to many things. Food, movies, places, events. For example, I could say to you, how was the movie? Nothing to write home about. Or, How was the Justin Bieber concert? Nothing to write home about. The fourth one is to bite off more than you can chew. This means to try to do more than you are able to do. I'm pretty sure most of you know the word bite. It's that. But some of you might not know the word chew. Chew is what you do to food when it's in your mouth. We do have the word masticate in English. I know that in some Romance languages the word is similar, like mastiquer in French, masticar in Spanish, but we don't use masticate very often. Firstly, it's quite formal, and possibly also because it sounds like another word which starts with M-A-S-T and ends in A-T-E. Yes, I know, I really need to grow up. When would you use this? Well, for example, you're at work and your boss comes to you and says, "Can you please send these emails, research this topic, file these documents, and then look at those accounts?" And you say, yes, no problem. But then at 1 o'clock in the morning, when you're still in the office working, you might say to yourself, "I think I've bitten off more than I can chew." The last one for today is to add insult to injury. This means to make a bad situation worse. I use this in my train travel video, which you can watch by clicking right here or clicking on the white box above. I was complaining because I had to get up early, and to add insult to injury, it was also raining. What a hard life. But this can be used in many situations. For example, the flight wasn't very pleasant because there was a lot of turbulence, and to add insult to injury, there was a baby sitting behind me. Or, my boyfriend left me, and to add insult to injury, he announced it on Facebook. Bastard. That wouldn't be very nice, would it, Frank? We have come to the end, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with your friends, and remember to try to think of idioms in your own languages that express the same ideas. You can write those in the comments section, and it would be great if you could put the English translation. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll put the links in the info box below. See you next time. Today I am going to talk to you about euphemisms. What is a euphemism, you may ask?